Redline Logbook here for chapter 27 of Wistoria. We start off with Marles after his attack on Will, and he actually compliments Walkner for being able to do a counterattack, not just protecting Will from his attack. With that being said, all Walkner was able to do was scratch Marles' arm. As for Will and Walkner, they were both knocked out of the sky. Will is currently looking around with a dead dragon, and when he sees Walkner, dude has a giant hole in him. Yeah, Walkner straight up used his own body as a shield and got completely blown through. You can see out the other end. That's how big of a gap it is. And Walkner then apologizes to Will, saying all he can do is just rely on him. Only Will can save everyone. He wishes he could help with that. And Will, as you can imagine, doesn't agree with that at all. In fact, quite the opposite. He starts saying that he can't help anyone. In fact, he gets people killed. He got Lousy killed, and now he just got Walkner killed in his eyes. Will said, a sword cannot turn this world on its head. There's nothing he can do. But Walkner says that's not true. And in fact, Will has always had magic. He then falls to his knees. Will catches him, and before he can actually finish his sentence on what Will's magic is, he dies. And that's when Will starts to beg him to finish what he was going to say, because this is like the only shred of hope Will has. That's when Finn starts walking up with a sword, declaring that he has insignificant will and a silvery light. He then tells Will something that I did not see coming, and I didn't think it was actually possible in this world, but as long as his heart can get restarted, Walkner can be brought back to life, which means resurrection is a thing in this world. I had no idea. Hopefully it's not necromancy where he's a zombie. Hopefully it's actual resurrection, because that would be fucked up, but still, that's broken, being able to raise the dead. Just think about Dragon Ball, just how many times they bring back the dead. A massive cheat code to have. And then Finn basically tells Will to get up. It's time for him to fight. But Will still can't grasp what he's supposed to do. And he questions, what is the silvery light? No, what does an insignificant will mean? What does it have to do with my magic? And that's when Finn says, well, that is your magic, because it's not like you can have actual magic. You can't cast fire or lightning or whatever. And you know that, don't you? When Walker said Will had magic, he meant his feelings, or an auto-suggestion. Will should roar out any lies he has and then turn those lies into the truth. That is his magic. Will's response is, as you can imagine anyone in the brink of despair, those are just childish ideas. That can't help anyone in this situation. Hearing Will say that actually angers Finn at this point, where he says he shouldn't say those words, because believing such delusions must be true. It's the only way for a sword to change this world. It's the only way for someone like Will to succeed. These beliefs are the only thing that can turn a sword into a wand. Finn then plants his sword into the ground, uses his fingernails to cut his palm to bleed onto the sword. He tells Will to remember his origins, to accept this, and use it to break past the false sky. A lightning bolt then comes down and blasts the sword and just gets absorbed into the sword. Very similar to the way Thawne fire was used to give Will the ability to kill the Duke, but this is vastly more powerful. Finn then tells him to scream what his magic is, believe the delusion of a child, wish. Will finally stands and grabs the sword. The lightning magic doesn't just encode the sword, it encodes all of Will, and right before he rockets forward, he screams the name of his magic, and it's courage. Finn is so happy right now. He just tells Will to let it all out, and Will rockets. When I say he rockets, I mean he covers the entire city in moments, and he's zigzagging through the entire city as he's going. He isn't just going straight for the big boss, he's making sure to kill every single one of the weaker monsters along the way to minimize as many casualties and save as many people as possible. And he is moving so fast that no one can see him, not even Professor Edward. That's when we get to Clannette and Thawne, and of course the big boss ended up crossing paths with Clannette. Thawne apparently put himself in between the two of them and is currently fighting it. Clannette is begging him to run away, but Thawne's response is, I refuse to have less courage than him. He refuses to have less courage than a coward who's braver than anyone else. And of course Will hears this while he's running up, and he says what he said in the first chapter when he saved Thawne. I'm not courageous, I'm actually a wretched man. And right before the boss cuts down Thawne, Will blocks it with his lightning sword. And Will declares, after being jealous of the wand his entire life and wishing he had it, he decides he will give up on that dream, and going forward, he will be a magic sword. And that is where the chapter leads off. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you enjoy more Wistoria and other bad things. Thank you, and have a great day.